Hello everyone, Sparrow Vision. Welcome to my channel. Keeping with the truck driver theme, this is an old song. Well, not like old song, but it's a good old classic song about CB radios. The language they use, it's a funny song. This is called LJ CB Radio. Give this one a listen and see if you like it as much as I do.
Once when LJ come home on furlough from the Army, he went down to a radio shack and bought him what he called a CB radio. And he bought him a great big aerial that had big long prongs what stuck out every which way, and he put it up high on a pole. And when he tied this wire from this aerial down to that CB radio of his, he could talk back and forth to the fellers on the radio station. He said that CBs was catching on with truck drivers and just about everybody, and that we are to learn how to use it. Well, after LJ had gone back to the service for a spell, we got to wondering about how the war was going, and we wondered where LJ might be fighting at and all like that, so we decided that we maybe ought to turn on that CB radio and see if we could hear some news on it. Well, LJ's mama and granny and grandpa got their chairs and scooted up real close to that CB radio so they could hear real good, you know, and then I turned that thing on. I turned it to every station on that CB radio, and there weren't no news on nary station. There weren't even no good country music on it. And Grandpa said he'd watched LJ play that CB radio, and for me to push that button on that microphone and tell one of them fellers to give me the news, and maybe he would. Well, I turned it to station number 7, and this feller was saying, "Breaker 7, breaker 7. Anybody got ears on this fireball? How about it?" Well, I pushed that button down, and I said, "Hey there! You hear me?" He said, 10-4, 10-4. The fireball's got you. Watch your handle come on." I told him my handle come on the axe. He said, 10-4, 10-4, axe, old buddy. How do you copy fireball? My mama got her pencil and tablet and said it was Fireball. So I pushed that button and said, Fireball. How's that? He said, 10-4, 10-4, Roger, old buddy. How about your 20? Well, I told him my name weren't Roger. I didn't have no 20. I told him I ain't even got a 10. I told him what we wanted was some news on this fireball station. He said, "Well, I'm driving a helicopter, and I'm trying out a new big gun, so I took the old ground plane down. I put some boots on it for some more juice, how about it?" Now, Grandpa didn't catch that, and I said it sounded to me like that he said he was driving a helicopter, and he had shot a plane on the ground with this big gun of his, and then he had his boots full of juice. Well, Grandpa said that sounds just like Vietnam, the place LJ'd been telling me about. Well, I asked him if he'd seen LJ, and if he had, to make sure he didn't drink too much of that juice that he had around his boots. Then he says, "What kind of rig y'all got?" Well, I told him the only rig we had was an old buggy. It was down in the barn, and they had a wheel off of it, and that we hadn't used it none since a mule had died. He wanted to know then if I was base or mobile. Well, I didn't know what he meant by that, so I told him that we was mostly Baptists and Democrats up on the ridge. He said, "I take it by that y'all must be bootlegging a little bit." Now that made me mad, because it weren't none of his business if we was or not, and I told him to hash up. He'd have every revenue in the state down on us. Then he said, 10-4, 10-4, axe, old buddy. I'm going to pass along all them good numbers to you, and I'm going to clear this old channel. Well, I figured out right there he was in this lottery of numbers racket. And I told him I didn't want him sending me no numbers, but I'd appreciate it if he didn't get LJ mixed up in it either. Then I turned to this station number 19, and we heard the awfulest story we ever witnessed in our life. There was this Texas bandit a-talking to a jackrabbit of all things. And they said that there was bears crawling all over the place. And there was this man at 103 out taking pictures. And then somebody yelled that a bear got him. And about that time, Granny started yelling and squalling because there wasn't nobody out there to help that poor old man that was out taking pictures. And then Grandpa said it's a sin and a crime to have this much crime on the radio, and we ought to turn it off. So I did. Now, LJ's mama was still concerned about LJ and said, I sure hope he wasn't in that plane that fireball fella shot down with his helicopter. Well, I told her if LJ had quit running around with that fireball feller and drinking that juice out of his boots, he wouldn't get in such bodacious messes.
I remember I had this album. This is where I first heard this song at. Well, not really a song, but you know, the story. So anyway, if you like it, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you have something you want me to play, listen, let me know. You can reach me at 765-388-4672. Until next time.